So I'm also I was born and raised in Detroit, like a lot of my colleagues, and I was born and raised in an era of Detroit's cultural heyday, and I feel like Detroit has had and continues to have a lot to offer in the way of cultural diversity and just great talent. And so I feel like one of the ways that we, in a community that is primarily Caucasian, that lacks diversity to any great extent, one of the ways that we can embrace diversity, understand more about people who are from different cultures, is through culture, is through cultural exchange, through music, through the arts. And our country has a great history of that. The State Department tours that Mahogany referenced, Anthony Stanko also does, those started back in 1954, at the height of the Cold War. So we are doing a battle with Russia, and we're worried about a nuclear war. And Russia has the Bolshoi Ballet. Russia has Tchaikovsky and Rachmaninoff to offer the world in the way of cultural exchange, and that's pretty impressive. So the U.S. government said, what can we offer the world in the way of American culture, uniquely American culture, that will help people understand the values of the United States, freedom and liberty and personal expression and so forth. And they came up with jazz, because jazz is very much like the democratic process. There is structure, there are rules, but within that structure and within those rules you have lots of opportunity for personal expression, and that's the basis of our country. We have to obey the speed limit, we have to pay our taxes, but we can also speak our piece. We can express ourselves in a variety of ways. So the government decided to send jazz musicians out into the world as an example of both the United States culturally, and jazz represents the music of freedom. So if you can imagine, in 1954, a full 10 years before civil rights legislation and before the voter rights legislation, we were sending out people like Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Ella Fitzgerald, Oscar Peterson, and using those people as an example of what America's all about. Meantime, back in our country, lynchings are still happening. And so there's an irony there, but the State Department tours have a rich, rich history, and they have been very, very successful. So Mahogany, for example, has been to Iraq, to Afghanistan, just got back from Paris, has been to Africa. Anthony, who is a 25-year-old deeply talented trumpeter, has been to Jordan, Egypt, Israel, Indonesia, with the music that represents freedom. And if you can also imagine, in the 50s, the Voice of America was being broadcast all over the world. They had an average listenership for the Voice of America of about 130 million people, and those were all people behind the Iron Curtain. Those were all people listening to transistor radios in their basement, because if they were discovered listening to the Voice of America, they'd be hauled off and thrown in jail for hard labor. There was a young DJ, a jazz DJ named Willis Conover, and he had 100 million people plus listening to the music of freedom in their basements and in their garages, these clandestine gatherings of people who were listening to this music and thinking, if I could only get to America where they can make this kind of music, I could live a life of freedom. And to me, a music that represents those kinds of values is a great tool for ambassadorship and for spreading the love, as Mahogany said. We in the music business and in the arts believe that every time we make music, we are sending love into the universe. Not just the room in which the music is being made, but that collective connection. People making music all over the world, sharing their talents and their love. That's the kind of thing that can change our world from a fear-based world to a love-based world.
Ask me if I need a little bit of inspiration. To be perfectly honest, my sole motivation is to see our nation be a better place. So happy that I came in. This was not a waste of my time or my mind or my grind. So many beautiful young people shine. It made my heart cry, made my soul sing. So happy that my people are here to bring bells that ring for liberty and freedom. So happy that my young people know we need them. So happy to know that they are changing the world. So happy to see so many powerful boys and girls and learn that we're really here to make a shift. I'm so happy to see everybody lift up a culture and happy to be on the Trojan station. Happy to see you right now. Congratulations. I know you're going to get the grant. So go ahead and do what you do and take your stance and keep fighting and keep shouting and keep singing. And like I said, keep the bells ringing.